All right, it's time to do our draft of the best players in the NFC North. Chris, you've got the trivia question, I hope. If I get it right, I get the first pick.
All right, here we go, big guy. A Green Bay Packer has won the NFL MVP award 8 different times, which is the second most of any team in NFL history. Which franchise has the most MVP award winners? It's a good question.
Which franchise has the most MVP award winners? Well, it would have to be a franchise that's been around for a while.
Correct.
Right? Now, I don't know how long they've been handing out the MVP award. That's the problem. The MVP award may not be a thing that's been around since 1920. See, if it's been around since 1920, I would say the Chicago Bears. If it's a more recent thing, probably not the Bears. Another team that has been traditionally good, better than not the most. But you know what? I'm going to go ahead and say the Bears. I'm going to say the Bears.
It is actually the Indianapolis Colts.
Oh, my gosh.
I know. Well, because Peyton Manning has 4, Johnny Unitas had 3, Burt Jones won 1 in 76, and Earl Morrall won 1 in 68. So that's a good question there. I did not expect that. And you're right. When did the MVP start? I want to say that started, early 60s, but I'm not sure about that.
Yeah. Late 50s, early 60s. And when you throw in Peyton Manning, it makes sense. Burt Jones, that's a blast from the past. But I remember when the Colts, because when I grew up watching football, the first few years, the Colts stunk, right? It was after the Unitas era. So I just looked at the Colts and thought, they're no good. Then all of a sudden, the Colts are good with Burt Jones and company. And that didn't last very long until Peyton Manning ended up joining the team 20 years later. All right, you get the first pick in the draft.
Well, I haven't sang this in a while. This feels good. Oh, thy Aaron Rodgers, you're the greatest I've ever seen. Yep, Aaron Rodgers, first pick. I mean, come on. Aaron Rodgers, he's still one of the 5 best quarterbacks in all of NFL, even at this age. He had an unbelievable year last year. You know, we've talked already during this show that we'd like to see a little bit better of a supporting cast around him at the wide receiver position. You know, is he Aaron Rodgers from 3-4 years ago? No. Okay. But man, he can still make some really, really special throws and dance around the pocket as good as anybody. And for me, yes, that is still the best player in the NFC North.
I have an important question for you, Chris. When did the song change from Oh, Aaron Rodgers to Oh, Thy Aaron Rodgers? Where the hell did that come from?
I don't know. I ad-lib. How do I know? Are you trying to make sense of what's working in my brain? Don't try to do that. You'll just drive yourself crazy.
All right. Yesterday we had so many great players in the AFC North. We could have done 10 rounds. There aren't a ton of jump off the page butt kicker great players in the NFC North right now. Sorry, Packers, Bears, Lions, Vikings, but it's true. I'm going to go Khalil Mack. Right? Even though Khalil Mack was a little bit down last year, he was dominant in his first year with the Bears in 2018. I think if they can get a little more balance offensively, it'll be more opportunities for Khalil Mack to rush the passer, adjusting to Chuck Pagano last year as defensive coordinator as well. But I think from a talent standpoint, Khalil Mack, one of the members of the team of the decade, even though he was only in the NFL for half of the decade, he's the guy that we have to look to as the best defensive player still in the NFC North.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, he's still a game changer. And I know the stats, they're not like mind-blowing from last year. But, again, they had Akeem Hicks hurt for a long period of time. And Khalil Mack is, enemy number 1 for when a team game plans to play the Bears. They go, okay, how do we not let number 52 ruin the football game for us? And people orchestrate game plans around doing that. And that makes life tough. So, yeah, I'm with you. That would have been my pick, Mike. Good for you. All right. I'm going Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook to me. I mean, Dalvin Cook's in the conversation for the best running back in the NFL. And as explosive as he is, his ability to catch a screen and go 70 or bust through the line of scrimmage on the outside zone Gary Kubiak run scheme and, put his foot in the ground and come downhill 100 miles per hour. I mean, he is truly one of the best pure runners in the league. And Minnesota, as you said many times last year, I mean, if they couldn't get the run game going and Dalvin Cook going, the offense was iffy at best. Their team is orchestrated around his ability and his ability to make plays in the run game. So Dalvin Cook, a game changer, explosive, tough, bell cow type running back. And yes, one of the best players in the NFC North for my money.
I'm going to stick with the Minnesota Vikings, Chris, and I am not going to take the guy that you think I may take. He does not wear number 8 for the Vikings. He plays defensive line. I think he wears number 9. Boy, 99. I should know that. If he's as good as I think, I should know his number off the top of my head. Danielle Hunter. Danielle Hunter quietly is one of the most dominant defensive players in football. Why did they not bat an eye at Everson Griffin leaving? They have Danielle Hunter. Why did they not worry about Stephen Weatherly joining the Carolina Panthers? They've got Danielle Hunter. He's the guy you build your defensive line around. He is a dominant force. He single-handedly derailed the attempt by the Saints to pull out a victory late in the wild card round when he busted through and blew up Drew Brees and got the ball out of his hands. Danielle Hunter, for whatever reason, does not get the credit he deserves. And he is truly one of the best defensive players, not just in the conference, but in the entire league. And maybe this is the year that people will stand up and take notice.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. He is. He's one of the best edge pass rushers in the league. He's got great size, athleticism. He's awesome. You know, hey, listen, I think the Vikings got a few guys that kind of fly under the radar as far as that's concerned. You know, I got Eric Kendricks on my list too, because I think he's one of the best middle linebackers in football. But I don't think I'm going to pick him. You know, I'm going to go back to the Bears. I'm going to go to Akeem Hicks. All right. It's not sexy, but Akeem Hicks, Mike, and I know you've heard me talk about him before. You know, he's in the conversation for me with Fletcher Cox, Aaron Donald, Chris Jones and Grady Jarrett as being one of the best interior linemen in all of football. I mean, he's disruptive, but he's a giant human being, and he really causes issues with any team's run game. So, you know, when in doubt, I like to give some love to these, you know, the big uglies, the big sexies, the offensive, defensive linemen. And this is a guy that's been one of the best defensive players in football the last few years. We don't talk about him a lot. So I'm going to Akeem Hicks with my last pick.
Yeah, and look, you mentioned earlier the fact that he was injured last year impacted in a negative way the performance of Khalil Mack, and Hicks was one of the reasons why they had that special season in 2018. He was there most of the year, if not all of the year, and he continued to get done. By the way, Danielle Hunter does wear number 99. I was pretty sure of that. I don't know. It's been a while.
What kind of Vikings fan are you? Jeez.
Well, I'm trying to prove to you that I'm not as much of a fan as you accuse me of being. I don't know Danielle Hunter's number off the top of my head. They also have those funky numbers, too. That gets back to the whole thing about the Nikeification of the NFL. Why can't we just have the normal old numbers? Why? Why not? Can we just have uniform? That's why they call them uniforms. Let's have a uniform numbering system in the National Football League, please. All right. I'm just buying time here because I can't believe I'm going to do this, but I'm going to do it, Chris. I'm being objective. I'm being fair, but I'm also being realistic. Kirk Cousins is the next guy that I have to take, not Matthew Stafford. Stafford was injured last year. Kirk Cousins, when he is in a position that he has time to throw the football, he can and he does, and he throws it accurately. And we saw him make that throw with the season on the line in overtime of the wild card game against the New Orleans Saints. Dropped it in, 43-yarder to Adam Thielen, set up the victory. Then he threw the touchdown pass to Kyle Rudolph. If Kirk Cousins would have been the 49ers quarterback, boy, the 49ers fans are going to love to hear this. If he had been the 49ers cornerback in the Super Bowl, he would have hit Emmanuel Sanders on that play where Sanders was wide open. Not wide open, but open enough to hit him if you're a quarterback who can throw the ball accurately. So I think Cousins, what it was last year, when Stephon Diggs went AWOL after the loss to the Bears, I truly think that caused something in Kirk Cousins to snap. And he decided to force himself to a higher level because I think it hurt him to go through what he went through with Diggs disappearing for a couple of days, with Adam Thielen calling him out. And he has pushed himself to a higher level, and I think it's going to continue into 2020.
Oh, baby. I can't believe I just saw you pick Kirk Cousins. I mean, the love-hate continues. I love him. I love him not. I love him. I love him not. I mean, it's unbelievable. Oh, but I'm with you. He's so underappreciated. He is a really good football player. I don't know if I would have made him my third pick. I think maybe I would have gone like a Devontae Adams or maybe a Zadarius Smith. They were in the running for me as well. But your case in point is very well done. And get off the Nikeification number thing. I mean, come on, old man Magoo.
Listen,
back in my day, they had all the uniforms the same.
Stop it. I'm going to keep talking so they can't turn this into a clip for tomorrow. My eyes can't focus on all these little twists and turns. Just put numbers on the jerseys that we can see what the hell the numbers are. That's all I'm asking for. I'm not asking for much. All right. We got to take a break. So, fun draft. Good job. And we'll continue it tomorrow with more
Did
divisions.
you even think about a Lions player other than Matthew Stafford just before we go?
Who would it have been?
I know. Other
Trey
than Matthew
Flowers?
Stafford.
I mean, who would it have been?
Maybe him or Kerryon Johnson, but I think it just speaks to the little bit of the lack of talent in Detroit right now.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.